What's up, demons and demonettes? 'Tis I, Atraxi, Demon Queen, and today I wanted to talk to you about Clashfronts. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. Alright, so let's talk about the groupings first and kind of like how they pick the groupings. So allegedly, the grouping comes off of guild supremacy, right? So currently we have, they want to try to build even teams. I don't know how that works. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4 in our first Clashfront. So I don't know what that says about round 2 or the next Clashfront. But we'll see. For my second guild, we had 1, 2, 5 and a bot, right? And based on guild supremacy, so I'm not entirely sure how that's done and makes that thing even, because we were like 3 ahead of 5, right? And we were 2, and we were like 1 behind 1. So like, but here, right, we had, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, all 21 now. But at the time it started, they were 20, we were 20, they were 19, and they were 19, right? So they were close. And then I think like here you have, I talked to the person here, they're like 6, 7 bot. So I don't get the logic behind that. I would have liked better bracketing, so that maybe just like 1 and 5 were in there. That way that ensures like 5 can like potentially move on, right? And then 2 bots, it'll give us a chance to kind of like learn everything. And then you would expect that the top 4 guilds would then meet in the epic round, where the stakes are a little bit more present for winning and losing. But that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about the actual game mode. Now that you've been set up in your group, right, you had your 3-day window to deploy and select your Vanguard. So in your Vanguard, you want to put your top 5 players, because they're going to need to field 5 teams as opposed to the 3 teams. Now, if you want to check out some team recommendations, check out my previous video where I just cover prep for the game mode. Now once you have your stuff set up, you go into round 1, and here we are in round 2, where we can kind of have an idea of everything, and we can see the results of round 1. Now, what you're going to have is a 12-hour window to deploy your units. You can deploy all of your squads, so you could go 100 here. I think it's up to a max of 100. So you could go 100 here, you could go 100 here. Max up on day 1 to try and take these outer tiles. So let's talk about how to take the tiles. So if we go into the battle report and we go to round 1, and of course it worked before, and oh, here we go, details. Okay, I thought it was just round 1, you just click on the round. All right, anyway, that's something learned. Anyway, all right. So, you have the Vanguards, right? So, you appoint a Vanguard team, right? So, your leader or your vice leaders, your officers can appoint someone to be in the Vanguard. I picked myself. I put my God comp in here because I know it's a very, very strong comp. Going to be very difficult to beat. So, you win the skirmish. You get 2 points. That's irregardless of if you take the tile, right? So, then you have everybody here. You get to see the other Vanguard skirmishes. On the left tile, they didn't have one because they didn't deploy a Vanguard, so we just automatically got it. So if you deploy a Vanguard and they don't deploy a Vanguard, you automatically win and you get those 2 points. There's just no match. That's how we have 24. Alright, so then after the skirmish, it goes into the free-for-all, and that's just kind of random against random. As you can see, my control team here, very strong. I went on a pretty decent win streak, right? So I got 112, or I got 12 win streak here, and then my God comp down here, if we look at it, had the other big win streak of 12. It only went up to there. It's possible that I could have had more, but I think that's the entire report for the zone, to be honest. Yeah, because that's, this may just be all of the matches that happened in that tile. So as you could see there, alright. So if you win the free-for-all, you get the tile. right? And you occupy the tile, and then that gives you the 10 points here, and then the 10 points here, right? Now why we only have 12 hours to deploy, and then we had 3 days to set up makes no sense. Why can't we just have a vice leader or a leader just deploy everybody? Everybody just sets their unit, and then one person just deploys everybody. Would make more sense. That way, you don't have to have all 30 people log in such a tight window. I know a lot of people missed out on day one because of that. They may miss out on the whole thing because of that. Really putting guilds at kind of like a competitive disadvantage in that regards. Alright, so we took the tiles. So what does that mean? So when you have on round 1 you can't attack the inner tile. You're only able to attack adjacent tiles. So round 1 is all about getting these outer tiles so you can take the inner tiles. So I'll post this video after this drops because this kind of shows where we're going and where we're not going. So what we want to do is we want to at least have a defense force here, in case they decide to go heavy and try to take this from us. Though we're pretty strong, so if I was them, I would go heavy on trying to take this tile here. But we'll wait and see. So if you look at the setup, so if you take this tile and this tile's pretty much a free tile because you're the only group that can hit that tile, right? So advantage us. So then that lets you go heavy on this tile or heavy on this tile, right? So that you can take the other tiles and get more points, right? Now here I just gotta double check. I can check, right? So we do have somebody in the vanguard because you do want to have, even if nobody else can attack it, you still want to put someone in your vanguard because you want to be able to get those 2 points, right? Because like I said, if you don't go against somebody, you get the +2. So the goal is to attack and occupy, right? So we can't attack this square yet. So if we take this square and this square, then we can attack this square, right? Now you can lose, like I said, you could lose the free-for-all, but still win the skirmish. That happened in my other guild, where we lost the skirmish, but we won the free-for-all, so you don't get the 2 points from the skirmish, but you do get the full points, and you get to occupy that space. So this goes for 4 rounds. So let's talk a little bit of strategy now that we kind of have an understanding. Oh, I also forgot to mention that your stamina or your fatigue refreshes daily and you can redeploy daily. I believe you can update and change your formations daily, right? So you can go in here. Yeah, they have a save. Yep. So we could I think you can update your formations. I haven't tried. I'm not going to. I don't want to muck anything up, especially since we're this close to calculation, right? Because we have a 12-hour. And then you can kind of like check the results. I don't know when we get the individual rewards. I don't know if this is daily or just at the end of the event. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure. So we'll kind of have to wait and see. It says there's a rewards phase. I didn't get any rewards, so I'm gonna guess that the rewards come at the end of the event. Alright, so let's talk about strategy. Right. So here we are. We're the strongest guild. Now, you can form an alliance, right? So where you agree to maybe like swap off on one of these tiles in between you, or you say, hey, we're going to, hey, you give us this tile here, or this side, you give us this tile here, and then we'll let you have, like, we won't attack these inner tiles. So, right, so then that pretty much guarantees that they would get that tile with minimal effort, and then they can focus all their attacks on that, right? It kind of, like, guarantees that you can get, if you're the strongest guild, especially since 2 guild moves on, it's gonna guarantee you a top spot, so you can at least easily get one if you're a little bit weaker and you're concerned, right, and you kind of like got an equal power base, it makes sense to like ally with somebody or somebody stronger, right? Because then you can like kind of like say, hey, I'll give you this, and then we can get this, and then we can focus our efforts, right? So say we allied with the turtles, right? And we said, hey, you guys, we get this, which allows you guys to focus on this, right? And then that would allow us to put minimal units here to take this, focus on taking this day one, right? Obviously that didn't happen because they didn't reach out to us, they didn't try to ally, we didn't try to ally with them. But that's just like a what if scenario. So then you might have something that looks more like this. But we just managed to take it. This guild, you know, they went heavy here. So what happened is we took this because we were stronger. We easily beat them. They kind of split their forces, so they kind of got beat up on both fronts. We grabbed this, right? So we get this corner tile here, and we have easy access to attack this tile. And we're just going to kind of ignore this tile here, right? Day one, we're just gonna focus on taking them because they're the stronger guild. So if you haven't noticed, we kind of have an alliance with Blood Legion, if I was alluding to it, but without saying it right. So the thing is like, hey, we easily took this one, and then it's just like, hey, you give us this one, we send in a token for us, so we grab it. Then we don't attack this one, so that allowed them to focus here, and that'll allow them to focus here, right? Because they're guaranteed to get this square with minimal effort, just as we're guaranteed to get this square with minimal effort, and so we can focus here. We're guaranteed pretty much to sit in first at this point, and they have a really good shot at getting second, right? So by forming an alliance, it allows them to kind of concentrate their power and really go after this group here. So this is gonna be the real battleground. The thing is I don't know if Sinners realized that we have the alliance. So now if you look at it this way, we have the alliance. So we're only fighting on two fronts, 1, 2. If you look at Sinners, now they're fighting on 3 fronts, actually 4 fronts. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So now they're worried about 4 fronts. We're worried about 2 fronts. So they're not going to be able to take everything. So if I was them, the way I would play it is, okay, I got this square. I gotta hold this tile. I don't know if I want to try to take this tile, but I definitely want to try to grab one of these 25s. Now, do I want to go against the stronger guild or the slightly weaker guild? If I was them, I would go here, but I would still send something here. Now if I was Turtles, they got crushed by us. They got beat by Sinners. This group is the weaker group. I would go after this tile I would just abandon this tile, try to grab this tile, hold this tile, and then try to go here. One thing I will note is you cannot attack the outers from the middle, right? So you can't. So if we take, well, I haven't checked that. I'm not sure. So I wonder if it's possible that we could potentially take these. So if we could attack this way. We'll have to test that out. I don't think. Now you can attack adjacent tiles. That would be very interesting if we could do that. That would give us like a huge advantage, right? Because then we would guarantee if we attack here and here, that would kind of like give us the ultimate thing. But I don't think you're going to be able to do that. I think you're just going to be able to attack the middle from the sides. Yeah, so as far as alliances go, right? So it makes sense to ally with one of these two to allow you to take the square closest to your base, right? That's gonna give you a good advantage in the fight. It doesn't make sense to ally with this guild here, right? Because we're not really gonna fight them until round 2 and potentially round 3. because there's no advantage, because they're gonna always be attacking this way, then they would always be attacking this way, right? They may try to retake this, they may try to take this. So there's no, and that's gonna give you a harder time holding the middle. Especially if somebody tries to, like, backstab you. Yeah, so, like, we could have backstabbed, we could have just, we're just leaving a token force here. If they try to take it, and they take it, that's fine. Like I said, hey, we can swap off on this. That's fine, I don't mind. I just want to ensure that we get a top space, and just taking these will give us a top space. I think these two, they'll get that spot. They may trade off on this, or this group may trade off on this, and that'll kind of like hurt their chances at winning, right? So that's kind of the way I see things going. We get 4 rounds. So just obviously we have a head start. They're already behind the 8 ball. Now they're probably not gonna get first, right? Because we'll grab this tile for sure. We'll hold this tile, and I don't know if we'll hold it. And I think we should be able to grab this tile. So as long as we get these 3, we will be set, right? Because that'll give us a huge boost to day 2. If we hold them day 3, then we're fine, and then maybe we go crazy day 4. Who knows? The goal should just be to get to the top 2 this round, or this clash front, right? And then we go to the next one. So the top 2 will move on to the next ranking, right? So, oh, that's not what I want. So the top 2 will move from Elite to Epic. So it may not be I don't know if it's necessarily the best idea to backstab each other in the first match. You can agree, like, hey, we both move on, and then we go our separate ways, round 2, because you don't know if you're going to be matched up against them. We don't know if this is just going to be us and 3 bots, us and 3 very weak guilds, us in the allied, the second place, and then 2 very weak guilds, us and 1 and 2, and 2 bots. So we don't really know what to expect. I think by the time you get to Legendary, the first round, you're gonna be your guild, okay? Because it's gonna be the last day, so it'll probably be just your guild, and then 3 bots, is what I imagine it to be. I think this will be like a reoccurring event, so maybe it happens like once a month, and it goes month long, and then that's how you progress and move up. And, that's it for this one. Good luck and happy hunting. I will catch you later. Bye!